The Nigerian fuel market is facing a perfect storm with fuel scarcity, skyrocketing prices, and impending entry of the Dangote Petroleum Refinery. Many depots are currently dry, leading to long queues at fuel filling stations in Lagos, Abuja, Plateau, Ogun, and some other states, as we have documented on News Central. Now, black marketers are taking advantage, those selling petrol for as high as 1,500 naira per litre. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited attributes this tightness in supply to issues with vessel discharge operations. Adding to the uncertainties, the declaration by the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, called IPMAN, that only NNPCL will be able to purchase petrol from the Dangote Refinery due to unfavourable pricing terms. As the country grapples with supply disruptions and price volatility, pricing strategy and NNPCL's exclusivity raise questions about affordability and competition. On the show as guests to talk about this, I have Chinedu Ukadike, the National Public Relations Officer for IPMAN, and Muktar Mohammed, a public policy analyst. I must say good evening to you and welcome to the conversation.
Thank you for having me.
So I guess Chinedu is here to join on the loop for this, but then we'll try to see as much as possible how we can bring him on. Let me just start with Muktar. Now, Muktar, there would always be a reason by the independent marketers to hike fuel price at some point, whether that reason is serious or flimsy. But I'd like to have your own, submission about this. What's your take as regards this fuel scarcity and the fact that the price of fuel have gone up again?
Well, number one, you have to realize that the independent marketers are actually not bringing fuel into Nigeria. The sole importer of petroleum product to Nigeria still remain NNPC. So you could lay the blame on them, and they've come out attributed to vessels that are on the port and trying to have issues. So the independent marketers are not the one importing it. I think it's the NNPC that's import, and most of the NNPC importation goes to the major marketer rather than the independent marketer. So you will see that most of the major marketers are still selling fuel at the current price, and then the independent marketers are the one that assume that the price has gone up, and this is due to the fact that most of them don't get direct allocation from NNPC. So I think the challenge is the NNPC has not put their house in order. Before now, we expect that by now NNPC should be selling refined petroleum product. Well, they told us December, they told us January. And the last time I heard the CEO of NNPC talking, Malan Kiari, he said he's almost taking an oath on television and saying, this time I'm not lying. It will be ready by December. So has it been lying thus far? So I think the blame should be put simply on the doorstep of NNPC, because it has always been like this. Anytime there's a hike in fuel, there's a shortage in fuel, NNPC comes up with technical issues. They have enough that could last for 90 days without importation. It's same of same. Nothing has changed. So I don't put the blame on the independent marketer, but business will always take advantage when you give them the loophole to take advantage. That's what businessmen are all up for. So when you're a capitalist, so I'm not surprised.
Okay, so at this point, let me bring Chinedu Ukadike, the National Public Relations Officer for IPMAN, into this, because, of course, is right here with us. Chinedu, thank you so much for joining us. Can you please unmute your device?
Hello?
Okay, beautiful. We can hear you now. Chinedu, like we would have heard Muktar blaming it solely on the NNPCL in terms of this scarcity in fuel that we've seen, and of course the hike in price. But then let me get your own position to an assessment of this current fuel scarcity situation in the country, because a lot of Nigerians even feel this is pointless.
Okay, thank you very much. NNPCL is just a company that was formulated from the PIA. It's also as good as other independent marketers company. And they were saddled, and we are also independent marketers. We are bonded into the NNPCL portal. NNPCL now becomes the only source independent marketers can be able to source their petroleum products. That is not the right in a regulated economy. In a regulated economy, when subsidy is being removed, there are supposed to be sources of petroleum products. And it is supposed to be scattered within nooks and crannies of the country. It is not that one particular person who is also your competitor, he is also your competitor, and becomes the only place where you can be able to source your petroleum product. It's now becoming very, very difficult for independent marketers to source petroleum products from any other place except NNPCL. And it is only NNPCL that can be able to sell us the petroleum products at the right price and within the price regime. So once NNPCL, who sources products, like any other company that is sourcing products, like the Moment and all the rest of them, once they don't have products, it means independent marketers will not have products. What does that mean? Reflectively, independent marketers will not just put their arms or shut their legs without going to look for this product elsewhere, no matter the cost, to be able to maintain the status of their stations and continue to serve the public. That is why we are no longer independent marketers, like I said in my earlier interview before, that we are not dependent marketers. We are not given an opportunity to be able to source this petroleum product genuinely from NNPC trading, whereby we can be able to, distribute this petroleum product to our marketers. I also want to put it on record today, clearly, that independent marketers have 90% of retail outlets and the highest storage in this country. So if petroleum product is being imported in this country, no matter how it comes in, through NNPC trading or NNPCL or NNPC, independent marketers are given priority, or at least giving them 70% of that vessel allocation, so that we can be able to distribute seamlessly to our people. I want to bet you today there is no community to not see independent marketers. When somebody says that independent marketers are selling here, we don't say hi. We'll sell the way we buy because there's deregulation.
Okay, now Chinedu,
I still want to let you know that we will be sell cheaper than the benchmark of petroleum products in Nigeria.
Okay, so Chinedu, I want to quickly actually understand what the situation is right now, because of course you are blaming the NNPC, but the NNPC is claiming that there's a hitch in the discharge of operations at the depot, meaning that there are fuel has been supplied to the depot, but then there are issues when it comes to loading this fuel to the trucks. Now, there are other reports suggesting that the depots are empty. And we also heard that the truckers were even instructed not to load up petrol. So I'd like to get the true picture of things at the depot right now as we speak.
It's not possible that if petroleum product is being allocated to us, that we, the independent marketers, will not load our petroleum product. We own our trucks. We'll move our trucks to the different destination. Also, let me remind you that petroleum products can only be sourced in the coastal area in this country, which is Calabar, Warri, and Lagos. All this coastal area feed the whole size of the nation. It means all our inland depots and all our dry areas cannot be able to source petroleum products, except those trucks will move from one point from A to from B to be able to get product, because all these products you see now is coastal allocations. Because petroleum products is not being imported and it's through vessel. And the DAPMAN members have situated all their tank farms near the vessel. The 21 depots NNPC have before is all obsolete. They're no longer using it to distribute petroleum products. The pipelines has been gone. All of things like this. It's all about this independent marketer. If we are in Aba and I'm loading petroleum products, I'm loading petroleum products from many of the cruise depots around. Why will I put more money to be able to transport? No, we spent close to 4 million naira to build petroleum product from Lagos to Kano. It is clear. And once you have to build in your profits, you also have to build in your expenses.
Okay.
Before we used around 8.something million naira to buy petroleum product. Now we are spending almost 40 million naira to buy one truck of petroleum product and spend close to 5 million naira. It's from those coastal areas to the inland area.
Chinedu,
that is the problem with the independent marketers are facing.
Chinedu, I understand your standpoint, but what I still want to confirm is that do we have fuel at the depots now?
Most of the depots don't have fuel. If they have fuel, we will load.
Okay.
We are ready to load. We are ready to work for 8 hours. We want to support the federal government. We want to be in business We also want to have return on our investment.
Okay.
Nobody will put a filling station and say he will not want to load. Because of what?
Okay, okay. Now let me quickly go to Muktar. At some point, there were stories, coming in around the liberalization of the oil sector, most especially now that fuel subsidy has been removed. That oil marketers have the independence to source their petrol from the international market at whatever price that they would want, bring it into the country at their, so-called profits, sell and make their revenue. But it seems not to be happening now. And the NNPCL, as has been established, is the sole importer of petrol. You just heard Chinedu talk about the fact that IPMAN has about 90% of petroleum outlets in terms of assets, which means they have larger share and the capacity to deliver. So is there a problem with the issue around having NNPCL open up that line so that we have a very liberal oil sector whereby these marketers can actually outsource their their fuel at whatever cost, and we have some sort of competition whereby, of course, we know that there is still fuel in the markets?
Yeah, I said before now, NNPC is the sole importer, and the reason why it is that is because most of the independence marketers do not have the FX to bring in this product. And if NNPC is going to bring it in at the price they are bringing it in, they are bringing it in at almost like if we are paying subsidy. The independence marketers, remember the government have said they will not pay subsidy to anybody. The government only pays subsidy to NNPC. And so it will be suicidal for any independence marketer to go and start importing fuel at this rate, because you have to source for FX. And remember, the FX rate is not yet fixed. He has to source for this amount, then he has to pay, and he has to pay in dollars to bring those refined petroleum products into Nigeria. So I think it was not profitable for them. For the NNPC, it might be profitable for them. Remember that they are the sole importer of crude oil, exporter of crude oil in Nigeria. So they export crude oil, and also sometimes they use the swap deal whereby they give crude oil and they get in return refined petroleum products. So definitely the NNPC is at most advantage than the independence marketer. So that's why you see it looks like if deregulation, if it has been fully deregulated. But again, when you look at the competitiveness of that space, if you buy the exchange rate, it was not profitable for independence marketer. The only time it would have been profitable for independence marketer is if they were able to sort FX at a fixed rate. But before we came on, I got the news that Mr. President have decided that Dangote Refinery can now buy crude from NNPC in Naira and other local refineries. So that could be a game changer going forward. But as it stands now, why they couldn't do that is because they don't really have the FX. And if NNPC is bringing it at a very fixed price, and then they will also be depending on market fluctuation because of the exchange rate and because of the international price. So what we've seen over the year, despite the deregulation, despite the removal of subsidy, we've not seen that move by the international crude price, because at the time subsidy was removed, I think oil was about $70 per barrel. As it stands today, it's almost $80 per barrel, and yet we are still buying it that price when the president deregulated. That tells you that there's subsidy going on somewhere in whatever fund is going on. So that's why independence marketers cannot be part of it, because they will actually be operating at a loss.
Okay, so let me now push this down to Chinedu. I'd like you to be very candid with us here. Is subsidy being paid for, probably covertly, for fuel in Nigeria? That's one. Are you having issues in terms of accessing Forex? Now, we now have a Dangote who's a local refiner. Is there a possibility that there could be some arrangements so that, of course, the Dangote will have to sell in Naira, transact in Naira. So do you think that could help IPMAN in this area? So I'd like you to react to those three pointers.
The first thing first, the first question is just subsidy. It's just like somebody wearing a wristwatch and can't be able to tell time. It's a very simple thing. if you look at the cost of diesel is around 1,200, 1,300. There is the markup between diesel and PMS in the international market. Even in the local market, it's not more than 2-3 naira difference. So if diesel can sell for 1,200 naira, it's been the kerosene, dual purpose kerosene, DPK, can also sell also above 1,300 naira. So, and PMS is being sold. Don't you know that there's a tag to it that is what we call passive subsidy. And the government is also trying to ensure that the people do not suffer unnecessary aerodynamic inflation. Because if they allow PMS, which is domestically used, and if it is domestically used, it means that the price of goods and services will increase, and transportation will skyrocket. And that will bring one unnecessary inflation. And the government will be very difficult. And you also find out that immediately after the deregulation was being announced, everything skyrocketed. It's not only fuel. You know, when people talk about petrol, yeah, has skyrocketed. The Gary has skyrocketed. Everything in this country, even the electronics has skyrocketed. Okay. Because the purchasing power, Abakari told us that as far as the forest keep on appreciating, we should not expect to buy petroleum products at that same cost. It is the forex or the exchange that will determine the cost of petroleum products because it's an important product. And we have taken that home. And we have been watching the trend of trends. If PMS is not moving and being stagnated, that's all I think. I also believe that the government is applying a little bit wisdom or doing positive because I overheard that when Labour went to see Mr. President, the government said, okay, you want me to do this minimum wage 160. That's what I heard. That because this to be at the normal rate it used to be, but it will be very, very wrong for Nigeria to do that. Since we have petroleum crude oil in this country, and also have refinery.
Okay. So let's talk about Dangote now coming into play. Would that be a game changer because it's been mandated that it should trade or transact the sales in naira? So can that in a way help?
Severally in all my interviews on both the national newspapers and television stations, I have been appealing to Mr. President to sell crude oil to Dangote in domestic currency, which is the naira. Not only Dangote, we have another refinery. They're supposed to be crude supposed to be sold to them in domestic. We also have Edo Refinery. We also have Water Split Refinery. These are the few I can be able to mention because of time. These are refineries that are struggling to get most of these refineries have shut down. And this refinery helps in trying to bring down the price of petroleum products, both the ones that have been imported and the ones that have been domestically refined in this particular place. So if Dangote is giving crude in naira, I also believe that Dangote will not sell petroleum products more than 600. Because the issue of vessel, the issue of exchange rate, the issue of corporates, the issue of logistics, the issue of international market, all those things will be taken care of. I also said in the Vanguard newspaper that there is a quota for our refineries that Nigeria reserve. Those our refineries are also no longer working. Why don't we move that local quota? I think around 50% of our export of crude oil, which is local content, why don't they move this to Dangote so that Dangote can be able to refine this product and be able to face and export and get more forex for us.
Okay.
We are done with Dangote. When we started with diesel, independent marketers we went in, they were selling diesel like 1,000 pesos. Of time, it came to 950 naira. And it's going gradually.
All right.
It has almost modulate the price of diesel. This is no longer flying with forex.
All right, Chinedu, now let me go back to Muktar. It seems as though the issue around pricing, is actually generating a whole lot of trouble or dusts, I must say. And time again, we keep having the same issue of unjust hiking of petrol price, or should I call it fluctuation. Now, we have modular refineries, and they've had issues with the IOCs having to supply crude to them. We have a Dangote who's also having issues yet to be resolved with the Nigerian government vis-a-vis, or should I say, with the NNPCL as it is. Now, we also have issues with having these refineries, as you have spoken about, Port Harcourt, Warri, and the likes, come on board to work so that we can have enough crude to be refined and to be sold and to be consumed domestically. Now, Muktar, looking at these issues, it's been speculated or being suggested that a state of emergency should be declared in the oil sector, particularly the oil sector. Do you think that should suffice?
Well, I don't know if there's no state emergency already, because if you look at security in the Niger Delta as regard the pipeline, normally our pipeline is supposed to be managed by the Nigerian Navy, but it's being managed by a private firm. So that's more or less like a state of emergency. So the whole idea of what will happen, the crisis we are seeing in the Niger Delta, has everything in terms of low output in production, has everything to do with oil theft. And I think the president, they are trying to address that, and hopefully they will be able to address it, and then so that we can come back to producing at a high output, almost like what we did sometime ago, 2.2 million or 2.6 million barrels per day. I can't but agree with the PRO, the independence marketer, where he says that we should begin to concentrate on providing this for our local refinery, both the Maudula refinery and the Dangote refinery. The most there, you say, he has given an interview. Maybe the president is listening, because he said they must provide about 450 liters daily for Dangote refinery. It's been we start the pioneer scheme of buying crude in Naira and other Nigerian refineries, so we enjoy the same benefit. But they say they will start with Dangote. So we go back to what people always say, the monopoly. But again, monopoly is there because most of all these companies also, maybe they don't have enough crude yet, and the lines of production could be different from Dangote. So I think pricing has always been an issue because of the FX rate, because of the charges that you incur when you bring this good from the port. The only reason why we're saying that it will go down is because some of these port charges will be eliminated, and we thought that he was to be buying on international price using FX. But with what the president have said now, definitely it's a game changer when you buy in Naira. So it will reduce a lot. And like I said, first and foremost, it reduce the cost in terms of duty charges through the port. And then secondly, again, it will take off exchange rate volatility. And the president also said it will be delivered by even if it's paying in Naira, the calculation will be in dollar, but the dollar will be fixed. It will not be like what we are seeing here in terms of importation of goods in the port, where today is depending on what the autonomous foreign exchange market is doing. So this will be fixed, and so that will help. I think it's a game changer. It will drop. It will bring down inflation. Like he said, everything in Nigeria is owned around petrol. And so once you are able to sort that, I think we'll definitely begin to see a lot of positivity in the economy going forward.
All right, Chinedu, so I want us to be very factual also about this. Is there a possibility, are we sure that when we look at all these factors that has been tabled by you and Muktar as regards the pricing, how Dangote Refinery will come into play, and of course the pump price and everything, I'd like you to be very candid with me. Are Nigerians at some point in time going to be able to have price fuel drop to a point where it will be affordable and available without these incessant issues of fuel scarcity cropping up? We are looking at stability now in that regards. Is there a possibility that this can happen for Nigerians?
Yeah, I'm not a proponent of Dangote, but I'm also a proponent.
Hello, Chinedu.
Proponent of adequate supply of petroleum products. The test has been done. We, the independent marketers, has also felt it. When Dangote was not on stream, the diesel AGO was very, very high. AGO was almost 1,500. And when Dangote came in with a price range of the price regime of 1,000 to.
Hello, Chinedu.
1,200. The people who have been selling diesel at 1,400 came down to 1,200. Dangote now took it to 950 naira. Diesel was taken to 950 naira. And I also want to beat my chest today that diesel have not passed within, since Dangote came in, has not moved within 1,200 and 1,000. And diesel is adequate everywhere. You cannot, there's no more scarcity of diesel. So that is the first experiment.
Okay.
Now, with what Dangote has 65,000 capacity per day refinery, it's not a joke. PMS will be adequate to the extent that even those IOC who want to import the petroleum product, wherever they want, they are free to import. It is competition. We take the domestic, we take international. If those bringing in from outside the country are selling PMS 750 naira, we the independent marketers we are not banded to Dangote. We go and buy from there. If Dangote is selling 750 and they are selling 1,000, we are not banded to NNPCL. We go and buy from Dangote. That is how we operate, and that is independent marketers for you. So, Mr. President introduced competition. So he will try as much as possible to be able to eradicate monopoly by also supplying the same diesel or the same crude oil to other modular refineries, and also encourage them to be able to ensure that those modular refineries is being operated to be able to refine dual purpose kerosene and the PMS at the same time. So there will be competition. When there is competition, the local market will find its place, and the international market will set in. Dangote will not be bringing in forests for Nigeria. The issue of dollar being so high will come down because it is too much cash, just a few dollars. When you want to buy petroleum, MADEC try to import, but repatriating his money becomes a problem. By the time he's finished selling, dollar from $750 was almost 1,100. So how can he cope? That is one of the hiccups most of our independent marketers, both Iran and the rest of them, experience when they now withdrew from importing petroleum products. So I want to sincerely and unequivocally state here clearly that Mr. President has done very, very well for Nigerians. And he should be given a chance to be able to do more. Because for him to have signed this feat of giving Dangote crude oil in Naira, and the 70%, let me say 40% of our problems is being solved.
Okay, Chinedu.
Of our refineries also be addressed.
I understand.
So that our refineries will compete with Dangote.
Chinedu, this current fuel scarcity, when do we hope for it to relapse? Just about 20 seconds.
Well, based on the information we got from NDPR, we're in a meeting with NDPR, and they also reassure us that most of those technicalities, they are on top of it. And then before this week runs out, everyone will be normalized.
All right, thank you very much.
Yes, I appeal to Nigerians to stop panic buying.
Well,
that will also ease.
We hope for that ease. Also, Chinedu Ukadike, National Public Relations Officer, IPMAN, of course, in Abuja, and Muktar Mohammed, a public policy analyst, actually joined us from Lagos. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for sharing your thoughts with us on this.